And we're live. Happy miserable Monday, everybody. I hope you're on the way home from work. I hope your boss didn't piss you off too mad. I hope your coworkers didn't rat you out. I hope you're enjoying your miserable Monday. I hope you guys like the new 5 p.m. start time. I kind of like it better already. I like the late day, not in the middle of the day. You know, you're coming off work. You want some smoke. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Get you in and out right before you come home. You see your kids and you're like, damn, I got a 5-year-old that's going to jump all over me. Let me get some smoke an hour before I go home to my wife and kids. Bobby, how are we feeling today on Miserable Monday?
I'm good, dude. And I think I'm liking the time change too, because this is usually get out of work around 4:30. You wait until about 7 till like the games come on. I mean, I'm a degenerate, so I'm sweating balls every night on games. So having this little 5 o'clock to come talk some Dolphins feels good. Something to do. I love it.
What are you even betting on right now?
Well, it's about to be the slow season, and baseball is something I try and stay away
Dog
from
days.
because I don't know
Yep.
baseball well. I usually just take other people's picks, but we got NBA playoffs tonight, so I'll be watching that. I'll be betting that. I think you will too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of sad because after the NBA Finals is over, I literally have nothing to bet on except golf, and golf is like by far the absolute worst sport to freaking bet on. It's absolutely abysmal. But we're here to talk the Dolphins, all right?
Yes,
So
sir.
Tyreek Hill's comments, they've taken the world by storm to the point where I'm starting to think that Tua Tagovailoa is better than Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you look at the numbers, Tua's more accurate. You see Tua's more accurate on 20 plus yards. And Tyreek Hill, he's played with Mahomes. He's practiced with Tua. Who are we to disagree with Tyreek Hill? Is Tua better than Mahomes?
I mean, I'm watching. We're doing the video. Everyone's watching the video. Have any of these people, have either of us, got to play with Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill?
Not me.
And Tua Tagovailoa. I think not. I
Not
think
me.
Tyreek Hill might be the only guy that has that experience. So who are we to come on here, sit here, and disagree with him? I mean, the man said
Exactly.
Tua's more accurate. He wants the ball in the breadbasket. He wants to take it 70 yards on a slant like he did in Buffalo. So I mean, at this point, the word is the word. Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes, and I don't know what more I can say of that.
All right. All right. No trolling. No trolling. No trolling. Is Tua better than Patrick Mahomes? Can he be better than Patrick Mahomes?
I think Kevin Garnett said it once. Anything is possible.
Bro, that would be the imagine if Tua just comes in and he's actually like the greatest quarterback of all time. Look, I don't think Tua is actually better than Patrick Mahomes, not even close. But I will say this: Mahomes is more spoiled than Tua was. You know, Mahomes, he gets drafted. He sits behind Alex Smith, who, by the way, Alex Smith was a very solid quarterback. He wasn't outstanding, but he wasn't terrible. He's kind of like a Derek Carr, in my opinion. I think Carr gets too much love. I think Alex Smith and Derek Carr have very similar styles of football. So Mahomes, he gets to sit out basically that whole year, watch Alex Smith play. He gets drafted to the Chiefs and Andy Reid. They have Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. I mean, the situation Mahomes was drafted into is 100,000 better, is 100 times better than everything that Tua went through. Brian Flores didn't like him, like literally wanted to sabotage his whole career. The worst offensive line in football. I mean, I know Mahomes had a pretty bad offensive line in that Super Bowl against Tampa Bay, but that's because people were injured. Like they had a pretty good offensive line that year, but they all got injured during the playoffs. So I think Tua's been dealt a terrible hand. I think Mahomes was drafted into a fantastic situation. But for me, I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're even talking about this. I think the talent level between Mahomes and Tua is like comparing the third Star Wars to the last Star Wars ever made. It's night and day from a talent perspective. Do you agree?
I'm not gonna lie to you, Smoke. I've never seen a Star Wars. I haven't seen
Oh,
many movies. People always bring up movies. I'm not a movie guy. I don't watch shows very often. That's just not my cup of tea for
you're
whatever
just a
reason.
degenerate. You're just a
Yeah.
degenerate.
Yeah, I mean, even kid shows. People used to watch the Disney Channel. When I was 4, I watched Sports Center. So I mean, that's just how my life has gone. But let's be honest here. The arm talent that Patrick Mahomes possesses is just on another world. It's on another planet. And that's not a dig at Tua, because I think Tua has more than capable of an arm to play in the NFL. We heard Coach say that last week himself. But I mean, Mahomes' arm talent is a different level. And like you said, that situation he's been in has been perfect. I don't know if there's a better offensive coach in the league than Andy Reid. I mean, his creativity
Nope.
and the way he dials it up is just second level. And then, like you said about the offensive line, even when they went down hurt, the next year they replaced it with 5 brand new starters. So like
Studs.
they've invested into that offensive line. He's been dealt a great hand, and Tua the exact polar opposite. But I mean, I think that the cards are starting to flip and the tables are starting to turn, and Tua is starting to get some of that love and some of that stuff he needs that could make him more successful for sure.
And some of that love that you're talking about is coming directly from Tyreek Hill. I mean, he is going out of his way to let people know that he has Tua's back. It's almost to the point where it seems fake, you know? I don't know
Yeah.
why Nick Witten's calling the whole gang, but
Yes.
it almost seems a little too fake. He literally said Tua's a more accurate quarterback, and when they asked which type of quarterback would they have, would they rather have the big arm quarterback, or would you rather have an accurate quarterback that puts it in the breadbasket? Tyreek Hill picked the accurate quarterback, and he's the one that said Tua is more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. So I know people want to throw the word context around a lot, but based off what Tyreek Hill said, he did say he'd rather have Tua over Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, for me, dude, Tyreek has become the most instant fan favorite, because if you look at the situation beforehand, Tua's coach literally didn't even want him starting at quarterback. You never saw players coming out in the media and having Tua's back or sticking up for Tua. It just seemed like it was kind of Tua versus the team, or the coach at least. Now you get Tyreek Hill in there, hasn't even played a game yet. He's posting social clips. He's going on podcasts saying he'd rather have
Mm-hmm.
this. Like, how good is that for his confidence? And I know a lot of people have played sports. When you have that extra confidence in you, when you feel like,
Right.
okay, I can do that. People believe in me. I believe in myself. You can accomplish like much, much better things. So I love it. I think it's perfect for Tua's development and him getting that confidence to take the next step. So everything is golden. I absolutely love what Tyreek's doing, even if it's not necessarily true, or even if he doesn't believe it deep down. Say it. Why not, dude? You're just going to give your quarterback confidence and make the fans go crazy. So it's all good for me. I love Tyreek.
You know what they say, fake it till you make it. And you might as well fake the love until you make the love. You know what I'm saying? But with these comments, and maybe he is telling the truth, maybe Tyreek Hill, deep down somewhere in his twisted head, truly believes that he'd rather have Tua over Mahomes, which is asinine. I want to be on record and say that's like an insane statement to say.
Yeah.
With these comments, it's also building up a lot of pressure. Now, I was at the gym. I'm running on the treadmill. I'm trying to lose 20 pounds. I look in the mirror. I see an obese ogre, and I look up, and one of the topic right in front of my face says Tua greater sign Mahomes question mark. I mean, this is now a topic on what is it still First Take? First Take, ESPN, undisputed. This is literally being talked about. People are talking about Tua and Mahomes in the same sentence. Now, obviously, the media is on one side. There's not one other person standing on that other side of the scale except Tyreek Hill and his new podcast, which you guys should listen to, and we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But Tua has to ball now, because we are, as of right now, talking about Tua and Patrick Mahomes in the same sentence. So do you think there's going to be a little bit of repercussions or additional pressure on Tua Tagovailoa because of these comments?
I don't think so, man. I see it as a positive overall, because I mean, what happens? Tua goes out there and he's bad, and the only downside I see is that everyone's just like, all right, Tyreek was obviously lying or trolling or whatever he was saying. So I don't really see a downside to any of the comments. I don't think it adds pressure or adds any of that. I think he knows what's on the line this year. If anything, like I was
Right.
saying, it's just a confidence factor of you can do it. Tyreek's played with Patrick Mahomes, who many people say is the best quarterback in the league, and he's saying he'd rather have passes from Tua. I don't see anything there that could be negatively construed. It all seems great to me, and I love it. I wish more players would start talking out. I saw actually Waddle quoted one. It might have been a week or so ago, but Waddle quoted one giving Tua some support. So I just love seeing the boys kind of band together, have their quarterbacks back. It's just the family aspect of a team that you love to see.
Right. And I feel like that family aspect is something we've been missing for a really long time. You know, you go back to Brian Flores, and I liked Flores. I was very, very shocked when we fired him, but you could always tell that there really wasn't a family vibe. There really wasn't a lot of smiles in the locker room. You could tell in their post-game interviews that there were things that they were not allowed to say. They were not allowed to be themselves. It was almost as if they had a teleprompter in front of them telling them what they had to say. So I think that dynamic has completely changed. And I'm very, very happy that Tua is going to get that love and that care and that support. Just like a child, right? You have to love it, you have to take care of it, you have to support it, but you shouldn't coddle it. So I just don't want the idea of supporting getting confused with coddling, because if we have to coddle a guy that we selected 5th overall, then we have a problem. You know, if he's a man and he holds himself to a certain standard and he's accountable and he's finally being supported for that, dude, I'm cool with that. But like I said, I just don't want support to get mixed up with coddling, because if that happens, you have a big problem.
1000%. I couldn't agree more. It's just like we want that support. We want him to feel good about himself. But if he goes out there and plays a game and throws 3 interceptions, we don't want to see Tyreek Hill on Twitter saying, oh, those interceptions weren't his fault. It was this, or this, making excuses.
Exactly.
We want to see him boosting his confidence up, but then holding him accountable. I'll say this on the record. I've said it a million times. This year is Tua's year to prove himself, and I'm not going to coddle him. Yes. I'm not going to make excuses for him. I'm not going to hold him to any different standard than anybody else. He needs to perform, and if he doesn't, he's out. But I pray to God, and we all do, I think, that he does. And you couldn't have nailed it more on. We can't be coddling him. We can't be just boosting his head up whenever he does something bad to make him feel better. He's in the NFL. It's a business. We want to win football games. And if he's not producing, he's got to go. But let's hope he just gets it done, man.
Right. And Phillip Adams, he's right there with you. And we talked about this multiple times on the show. Yep. If Tua succeeds, Miami succeeds. And look, we could obviously point to the offensive line and the new head coach and this and that. But if Tua makes a jump, and making a jump from 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions isn't that much to ask for, you know? If Tua goes out there, throws 28 to 30 touchdowns, you are right. We, the Miami Dolphins, are going to be a fantastic football team. 416J comes out. He says, Tyreek has done more for Tua already in a short time here without helping him on the field than anyone before him. 100,000,000%. Shout out 416J, by the way. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, he helps me with my thumbnails. He also does Madden videos, talks about the Dolphins. Great channel. Go ahead, check him out. 416J. If you ever want to come on, bro, you let me know. But yeah, I agree. And I think we're starting to see that it's kind of contagious. It's not just Tyreek Hill anymore. Even Jalen Waddle last year, they were teammates at Alabama. You didn't really see that coming out. Now you got Waddle on Twitter. You even got like the 4-string wide receiver guys on Twitter backing up their quarterback. Mm-hmm. Then you got guys like Robert Hunt. So he's really starting to get the support from his team, and most importantly, the coaching staff. But there's another thing that we have to talk about. It's the front office. Now, it's great that McDaniel loves Tua. It's great that his teammates love him. But I'm not convinced that the front office loves him. So this came out. The Miami Dolphins were going to offer Sean Payton $100 million over 5 years. Now, John Gruden, you guys remember his contract. Oh, my God, John Gruden, which, by the way, that motherfucker did not deserve $100 million. He came shit out of the ESPN booth, okay?
Yeah.
Sean Payton was getting 100 M's over 5 years. And I'm telling you right now, I don't care what they say. Sean Payton knew that if he came here, Tom Brady was going to be his quarterback. So the front office, they could say, they could act, they could promote, they could have the PR team doing stunts and donuts in the driveway, spelling out Tua's name. I don't think they're sold on this kid yet, but they're kind of like us, you know? I think the front office wants him to succeed. I think they want him the ball because it makes their life easier. It makes our life as fans easier. But I don't think that they're sold on him. Do you?
No, I mean, I don't know that they're sold on him at this time. And I'll go back to the Sean Payton thing you were just saying. I saw that too. And I mean, I believe that. And that goes to show again, Stephen Ross is down to throw the bag to try and win games. I mean, there's salary caps in the NFL. Coaches' salaries don't count against that. That just comes right out of the owner's pocket. So they can make whatever the hell they want, whoever the hell the owner wants to pay them. So the fact that Stephen
Right.
Ross, again, was down to just throw the bag to try and win some more
100
football
M's. Here you
games.
go. Direct deposit.
Yeah, exactly. So respect to Ross there again. But I don't know, dude. I don't know if we're sold on him. Sean Payton, though, with Tom Brady, just those like thoughts are so saddening. I wake up in the middle of the night in a
Doesn't
deep
feel
sweat
real.
sometimes with the nightmares of what could have been.
Right.
But I don't know. At this point, I think we got to be all in on this season. What we have is what we got, and we got to make the most of it. If it all goes perfect to plan, this is a legitimate team that could win 12, 13 games, challenge the Bills for the division, and be a true contender. So I think the pieces right now are good enough, and we have to buy in and see what we got. And if it doesn't work, we got room to make some moves next year. But I like the core of the roster, and I do believe what we have can win football games.
Yeah, I agree too. And you said what could have been. Now, I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason, you know? So, like, back when I was 18 or 19, uh, a friend of mine at the time took out my BMW. I was with some girl in another car or whatever, but I let him take my car. Long story short, the Beamer gets totaled. I get completely fucked. I have no insurance on the car. I'm like 30 grand into debt, whatever.
Sheesh.
But that day, like, it helped me become a man. Like, if that never happened to me, I wouldn't be up here speaking with you. Like, I wouldn't have, started to wouldn't hold myself accountable and start making changes for my own life. And that same thing applies here, So it's only a matter of time. I think everything happens for a reason. And the fact that we didn't get Tom Brady and Sean Payton, maybe it was the best thing for the Miami Dolphins to have Mike McDaniel, a young head coach, because Sean Payton's a great coach, right? No one's going to sit here and deny that. Yeah. But he's only got one Super Bowl win. And it's not like he's Bill Belichick. I mean, he's a top head coach. Like, I don't want to sit here and come off disrespectful to Sean Payton. He's one hell of a football coach.
Yeah.
But maybe that's not really where his heart is. Maybe his heart's spending more time with his family, doing this and that. Whereas a guy like Mike McDaniel, he's coming into a situation where he's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to build a legacy. You got a guy like Sean Payton. He already has a legacy. He's already set. He's probably going to end up in the Hall of Fame. If I had to take a guess, I could be wrong. That's a topic for another day. But now we have a guy who's trying to build a name for himself. Now we have a quarterback who's also trying to prove, hey, I was the 5th overall pick. I was one of the best quarterbacks in history at Alabama. You got to give me a shot. You know what I'm saying? It's like I got a metal hit. My first year was terrible. They threw me into the fire. I had a terrible offensive line. We couldn't hold blocks for more than 3 seconds. I had to take the snap and throw it, or my head was going to get snapped off. So instead of having 2 older guys that have already had their careers cemented and they are already known as world-class talents and coaches, now we have 2 guys that are hungry and both have to prove themselves.
No, I 100% hear that, and I subscribe to that. Everything happens for a reason, and it's going to play out how it plays out, man. And that's the beauty of the NFL, too. Greatest reality TV show in the world, man, because all this stuff happens off season, all the storylines, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Then the season comes along, and it all goes down. That's how the cookie crumbles. So we're going to get to see how it plays out. I pray to God that we did make the right decisions, and they are going to benefit us in the long run. We like you said, dude, these guys should have some fire in their belly. Tua knows what the deal is. He should be coming through and ready to prove himself. And I'm sorry, I just got thrown off. I saw TaylorMade Jedi joined, and TaylorMade owes me a new golf club because mine broke on Sunday. That threw me off for a second. So Jedi, you need to talk to your people. I need a new TaylorMade stealth driver. Let me get back on track. I'm sorry, that got me. But I think you nailed it, dude. These guys have the fire in their belly. They want it. They're humble. They're hungry. They want to prove that they belong where they belong. And everything happened this reason for a positive way. And that's what I'm going to subscribe to. There's no reason to, we could play the what if games all day. It's fun. It's entertaining. But at the end of the day, it didn't happen. So what we have is what we have, and we got to go to war with our boys. And I'm ready to do so.
Amen. Like that just made me want to go through a wall. 416J brings up another great point. We have 5 picks in the first 3 rounds next year. If Tua could become the guy, we could use that to surround him with even more talent instead of using those assets to acquire a quarterback via trade or draft. 100,000 million percent. You hit the nail on the head. Me and Bobby, we talk about that all the time. But that also gives me a sense of comfort, you know. Now, as a Dolphin fan, there's nothing I want more than for it to just work. I really don't want to start thinking about 2023 at the end of September, like how I was thinking about 2020. Well, yeah, I was thinking about 2023 freaking last year when we started 1-7. I don't want to do that, you know. I want to know who we're playing each week. I want to be involved. I want to be balls deep. Like, yo, we got a season. Like, this team could be it. And that's going to fall on Tua. And if he ends up being that guy, this year could be a lot of fun. Imagine if we win a playoff game this year, Bobby, or 2. And then imagine next year with more cap space. Our biggest guys are already under contract. All of our players that are already on our team, we took care of them. We took care of them. Now we have draft capital. We could draft anyone we want. We could trade for anyone we want, possibly sign anyone we want. If this team wins a playoff game or 2 this year, we might be Super Bowl contenders in 2023.
I mean, Smoke, how many years as a Dolphins fan has it been like week 8, week 9, and you're already doing mock drafts? You're already watching college football, looking for the next quarterback, looking for the next piece because the Dolphins are going to draft top 10. I mean, don't get me wrong. Dolphins have 2 draft picks in this next, or 2 first rounders in this next year, so it's going to be huge either way. But fuck those picks, baby. When it's the middle of the season and the Dolphins are rolling, no one's looking at draft picks. No one's looking at the college game, unless you're a fan, obviously. But for the Dolphins' purpose, no one's doing that. We're watching Miami Dolphins football. We're rooting them on every week with the hopes that we're going to go win the game, make the playoffs, win playoff games. So we need that hope to stay alive. And right now it's alive and well. And that's what we're hoping that happens this year. Because last year it started out terribly. And it was one of those years where we couldn't even actually look to the fucking draft because we traded our pick away. So the beginning of last year was the lowest point as a Dolphins fan in my career because I couldn't even go do a mock draft. I had to start in like the 4th round and pick a random guy. So we're not doing that this year. We're winning games, and we're not going to worry about the draft until that comes around.
Fuck the draft. Fuck mock drafts. That's just for the birds. Mock drafts is for the fucking birds. You think Chief fans are doing mock drafts with the 30-second pick? No, bro. No one wants to sit there and mock draft. Fuck out of here. We do call this Mondays are miserable Monday, and I can't wait till we call them Victory Monday. But it's the off season, shit's slow, so we're gonna be a little miserable. All right, Taylor Made Jedi, he's taking the reins here. So who's the quarterback we draft to replace Tua? It's time to be honest about Tua. QBs have been called bust with less. Tua excuses have to end. I'd rather not draft a quarterback. I think the Dolphins are in a position where if Tua does stink, that they could trade for one, that they could sign one. There's a really interesting thing going on with Lamar Jackson. I know some people feel some type of way. I love Lamar. He's from here. We've talked about this before. And Tom Brady's a free agent next year. So if there's truth, and if old man Brady still wants to play, fuck it, bro. You could come here for a year, win us a chip, and then you could tell Fox to go fuck off and go be a minority owner for the Miami Dolphins. I wouldn't rule that out. I mean, guys commit to broadcasting deals and back out. Like, it happens all the time. I don't trust the Dolphins to draft a quarterback. I like Tyler Van Dyke, though. I think, again, he's a kid. He grew up as a Dolphins fan. He went to the University of Miami. If you could keep a hometown kid home, I say you do it. I don't like rookie quarterbacks. So, well, let me rephrase that. I don't trust the Dolphins to draft a rookie quarterback.
I mean, it's spot on. It's the same way as the Dolphins trying to draft a left tackle. We haven't done that right since Jake Long was our first pick back in whatever the hell we took him. It's just like some teams aren't good at drafting certain positions, but they excel at others. We can't draft a quarterback for shit. And I don't want to go back through this whole cycle, this whole process again. If this doesn't work, I think the best move possible is to get the best free agent available. And with the team we've built and the draft capital we have and the salary cap we have and the guys we have under contract, and it's
no
Miami
state income tax.
Yep, exactly. It's a destination for a lot of guys that would just absolutely love to go there. And on Brady, I mean, They obviously Fox gave him that or is giving him that enormous contract. You think if Brady says, "Hey, Fox, I'm going to go play another year first," they're going to just take it off the table? It's Tom Brady. Man could do whatever he wants whenever he wants. So if
Right.
he wants to come suited up for the aqua and orange for a year, 2 years, maybe win 2 Super Bowls, I don't know. That sounds fine to me. But no one's going to tell Tom no. He can do whatever he wants.
I was looking up Google Images for a thumbnail, and there's just this picture of Tom Brady at the Dolphins like press conference table with like a Dolphins Under Armour shirt on. I just said, like, bro, what the fuck?
Do
I
you
was like,
remember
bro, what the fuck?
Remember when Peyton Manning was a free agent and he ended up choosing Denver, but like Miami was like strongly
It was
on the
I
table?
think it was us in Denver. I think we were the
Yeah.
final two.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that Gase was after that because Gase worked with Manning there. But I
But I
remember,
remember the billboard
yeah.
in like on the 95 of like get Peyton Manning to Miami.
Well, that's lit. I didn't know you had that. I don't live anywhere near there. But what I was saying, going back, is when you saw the Brady picture, I remember being in high school and every day you'd go to your high school computers, you'd turn it on, the desktop would like open up. I would change it every day to a picture of Peyton Manning in a Dolphins uniform and just let it rock every day just to visualize it. So that reminded me of that.
It
That obviously
sucks.
never came true, but is what it is.
Yep. It is what it is. But I'm really optimistic. I really like the group that we have now. I wish the freaking season would start, man, because I can't take the anticipation. I was going on Twitter yesterday. I'm just scrolling through the timeline, and I texted my boys. I said, bro, it just needs to start. Like, I need to know if Tua is ass or not. I just
Me
want
too.
the answer to that question. It's the biggest question we have, and we need that solution because look, you can fix everything. Offensive linemen, you got 5 of them. Wide receivers, you got 3 of them. Running backs, you got a committee. You got 2 corners, 2 safeties,
Yes,
3
sir.
linebackers, 4 guys up front. You got 1 quarterback. It's the most important position on the field, and it's still a question mark. And I swear to God, if that is answered, and it is answered positively, and we have our guy, I think the sky is the limit, bro. And I think King Mill, he hit the nail on the head. So much pressure is on Tua's shoulders. I think the weight of the world is on his shoulders. But just because I say that doesn't mean I don't think he can't handle it. So he's already dealt with so much adversity. He's already had all the pressure in the world. He's literally had all the pressure in the world. He literally had the worst offensive line in the NFL last year. So he's fine with pressure. I think he'll respond to it. And if he doesn't, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, everything's on the line for him. He knows what the deal is. If he can be successful, we're going to have a successful team, and then he could go on to have a successful career. And let's not act like Tua being successful isn't just exclusively beneficial for the Dolphins. I mean, Tua is going to be a free agent in 2 years. So he wants to get his ass paid as well. And with the performance
Yep.
he's put on this far, I mean, if that continues another year, he's not getting that huge second contract. You know that's got to be a motivating factor for him. So I mean, it's in everyone's literal best interest for him to go out and absolutely ball. And like you said, man, at this point, I just can't wait for it to happen. I love coming on the show. I love talking Dolphins. I love the offseason. But like, I just can't wait for that damn season to start so we can get some answers to our questions. It's so close, yet it's so far away. I just can't wait for it to actually come so we can get some answers.
Amen. For anyone in the chat, I dropped the link below to StreamYard. If you want to hop up on here and talk, by all means, come up here. We'd love to go back and forth. If you guys have any questions for me and Bobby that you guys want us to talk about, if you want answers about anything, let us know. Click the link. Lakers all day. He's joining. What's going on? How we doing?
What's up, man? What's up? Okay, so can y'all tell me what's going on? So, are like saying, did people see Tua not doing good in practice or what?
As in what? Like why we're talking about if Tua is better than Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, bro. Like, like, why, bro? Like, this is not even a topic to discuss. It's like saying,
Right.
is Tua better than
Look,
Tom Brady, or is Tua better than Josh Allen, or Tua better
are you a
than?
Dolphins fan?
Yes, I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm from
Okay,
Florida,
okay,
but I'm
okay. I
saying,
was just
but
making sure.
no, yeah, you good, no, you good, no, you good. But yeah, but like. No, bro. This man went to the. This is not. I don't understand why
No.
people is talking about is Tua better than Patrick Mahomes just because Tyreek Hill said that Tua is a good, you know what I'm saying? Tua is
Right.
accuracy is good. Like, okay,
Well, that's
fine.
that's your answer right there. That's the only reason why people are talking about this is because Tyreek Hill went out there and said that. Now,
Mm-hmm.
me, Bobby, and yourself, we all have two eyes. We all watch football.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that Patrick Mahomes is 800 million thousand times better than Tua Tagovailoa. But the thing is, when Tyreek Hill says that Tua is more accurate, and then when Tyreek Hill's lawyer, which by the way, if you guys haven't, Tyreek Hill's first podcast, his co-host is his lawyer, and his first guest was his agent. You would thought this man was uh, what do they call it? He's got his hand on the Bible, like he's literally in court, you know.
Yeah.
And then he goes out there and he says, he's like, when they asked him, well, which do you prefer, the big arm quarterback or the more accurate quarterback? And he said the more accurate quarterback. And he said that Tua was more accurate than Patrick Mahomes. So they pieced those
But do
two
you
pieces
know
of the
why?
puzzle together, and now here we
But
are.
do
So
you
if Tua's not
but
good, we're
mhm.
fucked.
But do you know why he said that? Because he's not
Well,
gonna because like he's not gonna tell us, saying like he's not gonna tell us that you know what I'm saying Tua is not good in practice. You know what I'm saying?
right,
He's gonna make Tua look good because obviously he's a starting quarterback. Just like last year,
right,
if you would have asked him the same question, you know what I'm saying, is Patrick Mahomes the best? You know what I'm saying if he would have said the same thing last year about Mahomes, he would have said the same thing what he's saying about Tua. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's it doesn't make no sense. He's just trying to rile the fans up and get all of the excitement. So you know what I'm saying when the first game come around, and then you know what I'm saying that's all it is. That's all he's trying to do. He knows that the fans are really amped up about this season and him coming here and Tua. And if Tua messes up, then hey, that's on him. That's not on the coach. That's not on it's on him because you know what I'm saying. Like I don't know why fans
Yep.
are like getting this hyped up and talking about Tua or Mahomes, bro. We all know Mahomes is better than half of the quarterbacks in the
Half
league.
might be putting it lightly.
almost all of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Almost all of them. He's
okay,
probably the
other than
best
Tom
quarterback in
Brady
the NFL.
and Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson. Yes, okay, you
Right.
can say.
Nah,
So
but
yeah,
Lakers. Oh,
mhm.
sorry. Go ahead, bub.
No, go. What you say now?
No, I was just gonna say, I think you're spot on. I mean, in that situation, Tyreek's in. What's he gonna say? Of course, he's got to have his quarterbacks back.
Hmm.
Of course, he's got to do that. It's gonna give him a little confidence for Tua. And at the end of the day, it's a no lose situation, man. He's got to go out there and defend his boy, give his boy a little bit of confidence, make him feel good. And like me and Smoke were saying before the show, it's the off season, so there's not a ton to talk about. So when Tyreek Hill goes on a podcast and makes the comparison and then says he'd rather have the more accurate one, that's what we got to roll with on a miserable Monday. So that's why all the
Yeah.
talk's coming from today. And also, shout out the Lakers. That's my favorite team. Pau Gasol, the best big man of
Hey,
all time.
that's what's up.
I'm joking. That's my favorite player ever, though.
Oh, dang. Oh, man, you had me excited, man.
No, Pau is my favorite player of all time, and I am a Lakers fan.
Oh, okay. All right, bet. We know we're not gonna talk about Knicks' Miami Heat. We're not gonna talk about that. We're
No,
gonna
not
let that
Hey,
go.
man, you can't talk. You didn't even make the playoffs,
It's
bro.
all right, bro. It's all right, but y'all was happy
Come
because
on.
y'all was the first seed in the East, but it
We were good,
looks.
bro. We were good.
Huh?
We're better than Golden State, dog.
I don't know about that, bro.
Bro, the Celtics are going to win the series. I'm telling you
I
that right
mean, I
now.
don't want them to win. I don't care, but
I know you don't want them to win. You're a Laker fan, but I'm telling you what's going to happen. They're going to win the
nah,
series, and
nah.
the Heat are better than Golden State. The people already saw the real finals.
But
They already saw it.
wait. Hold on. I know we're talking about football, but wait, hold on. Why do you say that the Heat are better than Golden State?
We got a better team.
So
We
you're
play
a
better
better team.
defense.
Better, okay.
Yep.
So what happened with Kyle Lowry?
What about Kyle Lowry? He's
Mhm.
old. He's fat. He was playing on one leg. He wasn't 100%. But it's not
Okay,
about Kyle Lowry.
and what
It's
about
it's
Bam?
about the pieces. It's about the puzzle.
And what about Bam?
Bam's a little soft, okay? I
Okay.
love Bam, but he's a little soft.
Hmm.
He's a little soft, but I think Bam would be the best big man on Golden State.
But do you think But do you think y'all should trade Bam?
No, he's not going to get traded. You can't trade Bam. The only way you trade Bam is if you get Embiid, and you can't even trade for Embiid if you wanted to this year. The only people that I think they should trade is Hero, and they got to
Mhm.
get rid of Duncan. No matter what they do, they got to get rid of. They
Yeah, I
got to
don't
get
know
rid of
how y'all
Duncan.
gonna pay him all this money, and just because a season before, a season before that, he was doing good for y'all, and then y'all pay him like 90 million, and then this
Yep,
season, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all just giving away
I hear
money.
you.
It don't make
Giving
no
away.
sense.
We stink with contracts, but we'll get back to the
All right, let's get
Dolphins.
back to the
But hey, if
Dolphins.
you want to talk basketball, we'll save that for another day. I'll talk about ball all day.
I
All
love it.
right.
Let's do it.
So what's your opinion on Tua?
Um, like you talking about from like the draft situation or from
Like overall right now, like what's your stance on Tua?
he just needs to get better and he needs to be more assertive and he needs to like audible more. You know what I'm saying? And like take control of the
Like
offense.
command the offense more.
Yeah. Take control of the offense and like tell people what they need to do on the field. You know what I'm saying? Like where they need to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And be a leader. And if he does that, and if he shows us that, you know what I'm saying, he can be, you know what I'm saying, the top quarterback or just our quarterback, then not everybody should be okay. But you know what I'm saying, like these quarterbacks now, like Josh Allen, Herbert, you know what I'm
They're
saying, like
different.
they're
Yeah.
different.
Different.
So Tua cannot mess up. If he okay, I told somebody right, I was like, if Tua messes up in 4 games, do you know that the fans are gonna go crazy? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing that stinks. So if you look at our first 4 games, it's the hardest 4 games of the year. It's
Yeah.
New England, it's Baltimore, it's Buffalo, and then it's the AFC champs, the Cincinnati Bengals. So Tua goes out there and he sucks his first 4 games, and we start 0-4. I mean, it's just going to be literally a civil war amongst the fan base, amongst the Dolphins as an organization, in the locker room. Should they start Teddy B? But also, like the beauty behind the madness is what if Tua goes out there and just looks like a G? Like, what if he just looks like a pimp through the first 4 games? Then it's kind of like bet, like it's up, like let's go. Like Bobby said
Mhm.
earlier, let's go to war. Like fuck the mock drafts.
Yeah, you're right about that. But I don't know, man. Like it's gonna be hard for the first 4 games, but man, we just have to see what you know what I'm saying. We just have to see what's up because if he doesn't, you know what I'm saying, like, the fans are gonna get mad and you know how we are. I mean not
Yep.
fans, but not me, but the fans get all riled up and they want Teddy and you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
and
I
then
get
they gon'
mad. I
I
get mad. The
I know you
Dolphins
get
piss
mad. I
me
see
off.
it on Twitter. It'd be funny, man. I love it. I love it. I like keep it up. But yeah,
I
but it's
appreciate the
crazy though.
love, bro.
But I don't know, man.
Yep.
Like if okay, who's our first 4 games though? I know we got the Patriots, right?
Patriots, Baltimore, Buffalo, Cincinnati.
Baltimore is gonna come for Chet for Tua, right?
That's what I
And
said. I said that game's not free. That's not a free win. I know
because
we
they're
whooped
gonna be
that ass,
blitzing
but it's
us.
different. It's not the same.
Yeah, they're gonna come for vengeance because of what we did last year to them.
Yep.
For
So
sure.
We
that's why
embarrassed them.
Tua has to come and be on his P's and Q's and play. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be different. Because this year, I know everybody gonna be like, oh, okay. Let's say that Tua does you know what I'm saying? Don't play good these 4 games, right? There's gonna be some
Right.
fans that's gonna have excuses for him, and there's gonna be some that's gonna be like, oh, he's trash. He needs to, you know what I'm saying, bench him or whatever.
Right.
But
Now,
re-
my only
mhm,
thing with that is I feel like the Dolphins as a fan base, obviously I don't speak for everyone, but I
mhm.
do see a lot of people's tweets. Whether you're a two and on, a two and ear, or two a hater, or whatever, I think we all believe that there is no excuses at all this year.
I was
It
gonna
is
say the
make or
same thing.
break.
Mhm.
Like you have the best roster you've ever had. You have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. That alone tells me shut up and ball. Then we go out there, we sign Teron Armstead, who is one of the best tackles in the entire NFL. They signed Connor Williams. Now I know he had penalty problems last year, but he's still a great blocker for the run game. The point is the offensive line has been upgraded. The wide receiver core is the second best in the NFL, but behind the Cincinnati Bengals. And you already have a top 10 defense in the NFL. And you have a head coach that is willing to take his first ever job knowing that you're going to be his starting quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, I like our wide receiver that we drafted. He looks like a
Eric
Baker.
Ezukama,
Yeah,
he's
he looks like
nice.
a Baker 2.0. But that's a little questionable.
Yeah,
But I
we'll
say
see how it all
I
goes.
say a Baker 2.0 because of his speed, not because of his and like a little bit of his size.
Oh, you're talking about the linebacker.
Yeah, the draft pick we
I
got.
thought you said the wide receiver. I thought you
No,
said the
no,
wide
no, the
receiver.
linebacker.
Okay.
But I feel like
Okay.
might be a Baker 2.0 and maybe even better than him. But having two speed linebackers like that is going to be good for us. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got hope for him too. Channing Tindall is his name, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like him,
I
though.
got hope for him as well. He was on that Georgia defense that was just absolutely probably the best defense in college football history, or right up there with them.
Mhm.
I mean, that they had players all over the field, but he was getting after the quarterbacks. He was good rushing. He was a little bit of a utility player. So I'm excited to see what he could bring because I think linebacker is one of those units that could use a little bump from the Dolphins. So adding a guy like that from a notorious established defense, you got to love that. So I like that call. I think Tyndall could definitely contribute to the Dolphins. So it'll be fun to see where he fits in on the defense because I'm honestly curious as to where he's going to be filling in.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, Lakers all day.
What's up?
I got one last question for you. So what are your expectations for the Dolphins this year? What do you consider a success and what do you consider a failure?
We gotta beat the Bills like
Yes.
all season,
Yes, bro.
regulars. We have to beat the
Yes.
Bills and the Jets and the Patriots. And
Okay, I'm
Tua
not
has.
worried about the Jets. I'm not
I
like I think we'll beat all those teams once, but
He's
I
not
agree
wrong
with
though.
you.
We do have to beat them.
We do have to. You're right. You're right. If we lose both games of those, I would probably, I'd kick the
and
bucket. You're
and
right
then
though.
Tua has to play. He has to play amazing this year. He can't play, you know what I'm saying, like he did last year.
Right.
He can't do none of those. And I'm gonna get back to your question though. But if Tua has 4 interceptions in the 4 games, that's bad, right? Like
Well, yeah,
he needs
an
to get
interception.
benched.
Well, it depends. Like, how many times are we throwing the ball? How many touchdowns does he have? I mean, if he's throwing the ball 40 times a game and he's got 12 touchdowns through 4 games and he's got 4 picks and the Dolphins are 2-2 or 3-1, I could live with it. But if the
Yeah.
Dolphins are 1-3, 0-4, and he's got 3 picks and 4 touchdowns, I got a problem with it.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, I'm gonna get back to your question too, like I said, but I feel like okay, so let's say Tua does have a hiccup these 4 games, right? I don't want the
Right.
coach. I don't want the coach to baby him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want
Right.
him to oh be like saying you're gonna be okay next game, and after that he does it again the next game, and then we're on to that 5th game and the 6th game he does the same thing, and then Teddy out here is just sitting down waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
don't
Yeah,
baby
me and Bobby
Tua
talked
if
about
he's
that earlier.
you know what I'm saying?
We
Like
said there's a difference between coddling and supporting,
yeah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like if if Tua's not playing good, bench him. Let the quarterback Teddy come in.
Right. Because
You
at the end
know?
of the day, we want the Dolphins to win.
Yeah,
But I
like we
think the
don't.
best way for the Dolphins to win is for Tua to succeed. So they
Yeah,
go hand in hand.
yeah.
Yep.
But back to your question. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Tua. If, you know what I'm saying? We gotta beat the Patriots, the Bills, and the Jets, and all them. And Tua has to have a good season. And I just want us to, just make the playoffs and then beat whoever we have to beat in the playoffs and try to get far and get Super Bowl. That's all I want.
For sure.
Amen. 100%. Lakers all day. I appreciate you, bro. Hop on anytime you want. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 to 6. You let me know. The link will be in there. I'd love to have you back on.
All
Thank
right,
you,
man.
bro.
Have a good one, man. Nice talking to y'all, man. Y'all be
Take it
good.
easy, Lakers.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Thanks,
take
brother.
it easy.
416J. My man, what is going on, bro? I love the setup, by the way. I need a setup like you. You make my shit look like
I
shit.
appreciate you. Honestly, I just got back working on the golf course, so shout out to you guys, like doing like the lawn maintenance over here. But I
Well, we got
wanted to
another
jump
golf
on.
guy.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Love it.
I want to jump on. So we're talking about the first 4 games. You have the Ravens, the Patriots, the Bengals, and the Bills, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
So with that, if we go 2-2, okay, and Tua plays average, above average, are you like happy with that? What's your take on that?
Right. I'll start, Bobby, and then I'll pass it
Yeah.
over to you. So I think me and Bobby, we've come to this consensus where if we start 2-2, we won the first quarter of the season. I think 2-2 is a fantastic start. And if Tua looks good in those 4 games, tip my cap. Because if you look at our next 5 to 6 games after that, if we have a Tua that looks good and capable during that stretch, like that awkward stretch of, actually implementing your new system, running the actual plays, game speed, going up against teams that aren't your teammates. If we're 2-2 and Tua looks good through those first 4 games, I think we might win the next 5 games. And then that would have us at like 7-2. I think that'd have us in a prime time position. Me, like without my bias cap on, I think we go 2-2. And if we go 2-2, I think we set ourselves up for a fantastic season.
I agree, Smoke. I mean, 2-2's got to be the goal. Excuse me, 2-2 is not the goal. 4-0 is the goal to start the season off. It's
Right.
football. Any given Sunday, any team could beat anyone. We've seen the crazier things happen. So 4-0 is obviously the goal. I think 2-2 is the measuring stick. I think it's almost nice that we get to get out there and play 4 quality opponents. So that way, if we start out good, no one can be like, oh, well, they haven't played a team with a winning record. It's like, no, we played 4 great opponents, and we're going to figure out where we stack in the league right away, which is beautiful to know. So 2-2, if we do that, then we go to the easy part of the schedule and we start picking off some games, which should be a bit easier. It is still football. Anything could happen, just like I said. But I mean, if we go 1-3, I'm not going to be freaking out, losing my mind, because I do know that there's some games there that are still to be had. I mean, will I be a little rattled depending on how it goes being a Dolphins fan and losing games? Of course I will. I'm going to come on here on Monday and I'm going to bitch about losing. But 1-3 is not the end of the season. So it really depends.
Right.
If we start 0-4, that'll be a little worrisome. It truly will.
What do you think?
No, so for me, the reason I asked that is just because I think people are forgetting like we're going to be a run-based offense. I think people forget that because we're
Right.
always talking about Tua, which makes sense. He's, probably the only talking point we have
quarterback.
right now. He's the quarterback.
Yep.
But the reason I asked that is, again, and that's why that's my opinion, is because he probably will play just about average just because I feel like we're not going to be passing the ball as much. Tua should not be passing the ball 40 times a game. That's not his style. Like, obviously, if we need him to, he should, obviously. But we should be running the ball a lot. And I think it's been so long since we've had a run game on this team, and
Right.
Mike McDaniel is going to bring that. So if Tua can just play average and hopefully above average because he's in rhythm, he's in his like wherever he wants to be in terms of he has a run game to work off of, especially with the RPO. Like we running an RPO without a run game, like that's just ridiculous. But if we
I
can
agree.
have Tua play above average with a good run game, there's no reason for us to be losing because we'll have time
Right.
possession and we'll have a quarterback who can dish and dime off of the run. I think that's the whole point of bringing McDaniel in. It's to make Tua comfortable with
Right.
that run game. So if he can just play average and use his arm when we need him to on third downs, convert those third downs, then we should be good to go in terms of going 2-2. Bobby's right in terms of we do have 4 quality teams. So we'll know right where we're at the start of the season. Like there won't be any, we don't really know because the schedule is tough, or we don't really know because the schedule is too easy. We'll know right off the bat
Right.
where we are, especially with Mike
Yep.
McDaniel being the new head coach. So we'll know exactly
Yeah, I
who
agree.
he is. We'll know exactly how he coaches when it's in clutch time, when he coaches against a great team. So there won't be any question marks there. So we'll know right where we're at the start of the season.
And you made a great point. I think people do forget that we are going to be a run-first team because we did bring in Tyreek Hill. We have guys like Jalen Waddle. And, of course, the most polarizing position in any sport, the quarterback position. So, of course, I agree 100% that people are going to forget that we are going to be a run-first team. And I'm glad we are. And I think you have to be able to run the ball effectively if you want to win games in the NFL. I remember my brother told me as a kid, the best way to move the ball is to run the football effectively. It's safe. You hand the ball off and you hit the hole and you go. But my thing is, now this is my biggest question. Tua playing above average, sure, that'll get us 10 wins, maybe 11 wins if we don't turn the ball over enough. But what about the playoffs where quarterback play can't just be above average, You look at Jimmy G in the 49ers. they ran the ball better than anyone. They got to the NFC Championship game. And when they had to depend on their quarterback on that final possession to get the job done, he didn't get the job done. And I think that's our biggest thing with Tua but he does statistically, he's pretty good in the fourth quarter, you know? I mean, I don't not trust Tua in the fourth quarter. Obviously, I'm not saying I'd rather have Tua over Tom Brady in the fourth quarter, but even when Tua fucks up the entire first half, like the Atlanta game, he still found a way to bring us back. But
Yeah,
I think he needs to be good. I don't think he could be above average. I think he needs to be good.
I agree with you, Smoke. And another thing, circling back to the running game, and I'm excited to be more of a run-first offense. I mean, I hope there's still some balance there, and it's not just completely run dominant. But, I mean, look at the way the NFL is going with all these quarterbacks and all these guys who can throw it so well. The defenders and the linebackers are starting to get smaller, rangier, quicker, because they want guys on the field that can cover the pass. And when we start running the ball and they have these smaller guys out there, we should start mauling guys. Like, I feel like football is due to have one of those kind of swings where everything changes up a little bit. Someone's FaceTiming me. I hope I'm still good. But yeah, I think that run game is really going to be effective because I do think it's going to help us because I think we're going to find some mismatches on the field there.
Yep. Jay, I wanted to ask
I hope my audio didn't cut out there.
Wait, by the way, guys, if you aren't already, subscribe to Jay's channel. Great channel, great clips. He's the man. Go ahead, subscribe, check him out. I wanted to ask you, I asked Lakers all day earlier, what would you call a success and what would you call a failure for the Miami Dolphins this year?
So for me, it's tough just because obviously I watch the show. I agree with you. That's why we're here. I'm talking to you guys. We have to beat the Bills once. By the way, you're bang on that because let's say we even make the playoffs, but we don't beat the Bills. I don't know if that shows me enough for the team because Sean McDermott has been our daddy for 4 straight years now. It feels like 3 straight years, whatever it is. And Josh, yeah, it feels like they've just been tearing us up. So if Mike McDaniel can come in and beat the Bills, that's a huge major stick. And imagine if he does it within the first 4 games. So I think we have to make the playoffs for sure. That's a non-negotiable. After going 10-6 and then 9-8, that's a non-negotiable. You have to make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs, what was the point of firing Brian Flores at that point? There's no point there. So then after that, you have to try and win a playoff game. And that might offset, let's say you lose 2 games to the Bills, but you win a playoff game. That might offset that. But the thing for me is I would still have way more confidence if we beat the Bills once, just to show that we're back, we're back in it. Because I feel like we always were the team when the Patriots were dominating where, maybe the Dolphins can come before Josh Allen was on the Bills. Now the Bills have just taken that spot. So we really need to put our name back in that basket. So that's why I think we need to beat the Bills. Again,
that's another thing. So you said Sean McDermott and Josh McDaniel, they're literally our fathers, right? And then you look at what the Patriots were to us, it was Tom Brady and Bill. But Flores, he comes in and we start beating the Patriots. We start kicking their ass. We start going into Gillette, yo, we're going to win this game. They come down here, we're yo, we're going to win this game. And even when you go back to the Brady days before Flores, we always thought we were going to beat the Patriots in Miami, whether we were the worst team in the world or the best 8-8 team at the time of all time. We always thought we had a shot to beat them. And I feel like that the Bills have whooped our ass to the point where we don't even think we have a chance to beat them in Miami.
No, dude, we don't have that swagger, that confidence, that little bit of cockiness. I think you posted it the other day that the Marino in Buffalo, when he chucks the ball behind his back, what swagger to have in their house, just knowing you're going to go in there and rip it for 4 quarters. We haven't seen that in Buffalo. And I go to the games in Buffalo and I see them warm up, but I'm not seeing that that cocky swag. It's usually 20 degrees out and they look like they're cold. Where when you beat the Bills, you get that monkey off your back. You start to feel okay, they were supposed to win our division. We just beat them. All of a sudden, where does that make us? How far can we go? I think it just adds hype to the train. It adds belief. So getting that win over Buffalo, I really do think it will do a lot. And that should almost be the measuring stick. I mean, they're the number 1 team in the division. They're the favorites to win. So we got to go out and show that we are worthy and we can beat them.
Yep, 100%. Last question. We'll wrap things up. I'll get all 3 of your guys' take. Will McDaniel be fired if this team goes 9-8?
Okay,
Absolutely
so
no.
I don't think so, just because it's his first year. And also, I think it goes to the same thing for the defense. Let's say we go out there, we win some games, but our defense is struggling a little bit because it's Boyer, not Flores. Not saying that we will, but if that's the case, just because we've heard it so many times, you have to give McDaniel a chance to bring his guys in because he kept everyone here. So if we go 9-8, I don't think he'll be fired, but I think he'll be in the hot seat going into next season, especially if we go 9-8, miss the playoffs, which is probably what will happen if we go 9-8 in this AFC. So I think he might not be fired, but he'll be in the hot seat for sure, which is a little bit tough as a first year coach, not having that security. But he did take the job knowing that, I'm pretty sure. Like he knew, like you said, he was gonna have Tua, and he knows we already are a winning team. This isn't one of those things where we are a rebuilding team and he's coming in to try and fix stuff up. We're already on the stretch to compete. So I think he knew that like he needs to come in and compete. So again, if he goes 9-8, I think he's on the hot seat going into next year, but not fired. I think that's a little too harsh.
Yeah, I say no shot in hell he gets fired if we go 9-8. No chance. It's nice to sit here and say, oh, well, we'll just bring in Sean Payton. Like, life isn't that easy. I feel like Sean Payton's been waiting to get that Cowboys job forever, and if they underperform, that's where Sean Payton's going to head. But, I mean, it's too hard to just peg out names and say, well, if we go 9-8, he won't get fired unless this guy comes around. It's just too many ifs, ands, or buts. To me, you don't hire a guy to fire him after a winning season in his first year. Would it be a little disappointing? Sure. But would it be like the end of the world where you deem it a failure and have to go put more resources in to build it down and then, or tear it down and then build it back up? I don't think it's worth it. I'd give him another run at it. If the following year the results didn't get any better, now it's time to cut cord. But after 1 year with a winning record, no shot in hell.
I disagree with both of you. I do think he will get fired if this team goes 9-8 and doesn't make it to the playoffs, because that's the reason why we fired Flores. We were above 500 both years. Now I know everyone's like, oh, well, his first year, dude, we weren't supposed to win games. We overachieved that first year. We fired Flores, back-to-back winning seasons. We haven't had that in Lord knows how long. And when you have a roster like this, that is literally built to go win a championship. I mean, outside of the quarterback position, we compete with everyone in pretty much every category. Now, our offensive line still has to pan out. I'm not saying that we went from the 32nd ranked offensive line to the 10th best offensive line, but they're definitely going to be better than 32nd. I think they're going to be good enough for us to win a couple extra football games. But I think when you bring in a guy like that to a roster like this, and he gives you the same result as the last guy that you just canned, and he was the first coach to give you back-to-back winning seasons, who knows what coach comes on the market? Who knows which coach is like, yo, I want out of here. Let me go down to Miami. Maybe Sean Payton, maybe he doesn't want to go to Dallas. Obviously, we know he probably does, but he was already looking at houses down here in Miami. If it wasn't for the Flores lawsuit, he might already be the coach of the Miami Dolphins. So I think if this team goes 9-8 and doesn't make the playoffs, I do think he'll get fired, because Stephen Ross, at the end of the day, he don't care about Mike McDaniel unless he's winning. He don't care about Tua unless he's the quarterback. I mean, this man said he was willing to take his chances criminally for Deshaun Watson. Tom Brady on a yacht. I mean, this guy, he's on a ticking time clock, bro. He just wants to see this team win, man.
Now, quick question to you, Smoke, just going off of that. So say we were to go 9-8 in this scenario, and it's clear that what's holding us back from taking that next step is quarterback. Our quarterback's not getting it done, and that's what it comes down to, and it's pretty clear and evident. At that point, you're still firing McDaniel, getting rid of Tua, and bringing both in? Or in that case, would you say, okay, McDaniel's team wasn't bad, the quarterback was the issue, let's get McDaniel his quarterback?
It's a good question.
Okay. Great question. Great context. If Tua is clearly, and I mean clearly, the weak link to this football team, because remember, Stephen Ross said the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins is going to pick the quarterback. So McDaniel picked Tua. So part of that assessment, Tua has to be good. You're building the system to relieve pressure. You're building the run-first offense. Now, if it looks good, and it just comes down to situational football and Tua's turning the ball over, or he's still fumbling the ball 9 times, taking bad sacks, only 16 touchdowns compared to 10 interceptions, turning the ball over in the red zone. If it's clear as day that our defense looks good, we have good team chemistry. Mike McDaniel, he's not Brian Flores. He's communicating with the front office. He's building good relationships, and you could pinpoint that the problem is solely on your quarterback. Sure, bring Mike McDaniel back. But I believe if Tua doesn't succeed and this team goes 9-8, the offense isn't going to look good. Like if Tua doesn't look good, the offense isn't going to look good. I don't care how many times they run the football.
No, I think that's more than fair. I was just curious because there is a world where that is how it plays out. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
Right.
It'll be curious to see how it all goes, but let's just hope McDaniel and Tua next year after coming off a couple playoff wins or so.
There you go. Well, hopefully the Dolphins are in the Super Bowl, and we'll just start partying, going crazy, and I'll buy every table possible at Club Live in 11. But that's gonna wrap it up for today's show. Jay, thank you for coming on, bro. Anytime you want, hop on.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
sure.
5
Thank
to
you.
6. Everyone in the chat, thank you guys so much. Come back Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. We appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Bobby, thank you as always, and
Yes,
we will
sir.
see you guys on Wednesday. Fins up.
Fins up.